Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dirt Podcast. I'm Lindsay,
And I'm Coach Loretta.
and
I'm
today
Lily
we
Medina.
have the wonderful Lily with us again. I'm so excited to have you back. I know that this is like the wrapping up of your grand adventure, but first of all, how are you feeling?
Good, really good. Surprisingly, my body has recovered really well. Um, I raced, I finished my race on Sunday morning and then just kind of rested and I walked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Well, Thursday was like a little just a walk run to see what it would feel like and it was fine. So this morning I went on a 30-minute slow jog and it was fine. Like I felt good. Just testing out the legs to see, how they feel, but it was good. It's been really good.
That's awesome.
Awesome. And let's go ahead and get into like what you just did. Loretta, do you want to start the recap and then kind
Oh,
of hear about the last race of the series?
for sure. So Lily did Indiana Trail 100, and that was in Albion, Indiana last weekend. She finished second place overall female,
Hmm.
and her time was just under 21 hours, 20:57, which was pretty incredible considering this was her fifth 100 in 4.5 months. So it was kind of a goal that we talked about, like, okay, where can you finish? And I'm like, let's, a goal of 20 to 21 hours, and she nailed it.
Hmm.
So that's pretty exciting. And so this week, I don't, if people are following her on social media, they might have saw that she posted her week and her schedule, which is like a first time for everything for Lily, right? Recovery week, like do nothing. You're
Do nothing.
cover. And that's not one of Lily's favorite things in the world to just rest, but
I
and
walked.
it's
That's resting.
still moving, but she
Yes. And I feel like if I do move, even if it's just a walk, it does help my legs feel a lot better. Like I wake
absolutely
up and I'm so first like super stiff and I feel like my legs are really swollen and tight. And then after I go for that, 20 to 30-minute walks, it's like, okay, here we go. Now it's a little bit of motion and I do feel better.
for sure. And that was part of her recovery was, walking, cycling, light mobility, all that's good. Just
Mm.
give yourself a break mentally and physically. I like to do that with athletes after big events, and especially Lily. I mean, she's been training for months for just these
Yeah,
five races, and it just
yeah,
becomes not just a physical task, it becomes a mental, burden,
Mhm.
constantly focusing on training and, in the next race. So you kind of need that time to reset a little bit.
Yeah. When
definitely.
I'm done, I'm just like, now what? Like, what do I do? What happens next?
But let's talk about,
That's
I feel like it went pretty well. Do you want to talk about how it went?
I honestly really enjoyed that race. It was a great course. Um, Considerably less elevation than the other ones that I've done. Definitely the one with the less elevation. Everything was honestly very runnable, very not much technical at all. Maybe there was a few little sections here and there, but really nothing that you had to like, oh my gosh, I better stop or slow down. Some things that you could skip over or jump over. And it was also a loop course, which I honestly do like the loop courses. And especially I think now later on, that I've been tired more, I feel with that confidence it just helps you know, well, at this certain amount of time I'm gonna get to see my crew. Or, you're familiar a little bit more with the course.
right.
So yeah, these were 25-mile loops.
Oh,
So
good.
I had to do 4 loops of that and the aid stations were amazing. The farthest one was like 5 miles
That's
between
Oh,
them.
wow.
Yeah, it was really great. And I know I mentioned it before when I did Woodstock that I was with Woodstock, I thought about just having one bottle of like hydration or water because
Mhm.
I felt like carrying both of them for me was a lot. Like it just made me feel heavy.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
was, well, this is about the same loop. And I was looking at the aid station and they were even closer than Woodstock.
Mhm.
So I tried the one bottle and it worked out great.
That's
Like
nice.
I would just get there, fill up, and then move on to the next aid station. So
That's great.
I mean it's less weight you have to carry, So I feel
Yeah.
like that really helped me also stay on
Yeah.
target because I knew exactly, okay, once I get to the aid station, first thing, fill up water.
Yep.
And
Hmm.
like that was my focus. So
Right.
it's less to think about than when you have 2 bottles. You're like, okay, do I need to fill? Do I not? Like how much?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you want to carry the least as possible for
Right.
such a long
Yeah.
time.
I'm a big
Yeah.
fan of carrying too, just because I like to go light and I also get
Yeah.
really hot, so that having the vest on top too becomes a little bit too much. What did you do with your gels and stuff, your nutrition?
I carried my vest. I still had my vest,
Oh,
like normal, just because I'm so used to having it. But it was just one bottle, and then on the other side was all of my gels.
Oh,
Usually
that's
I have them on both sides, but like to even out the weight, I just put them
yeah.
on. So as I was eating and I was drinking, it was kind of evening it out. So there wasn't as much of a balance, which, like I said, that course was great. Like the aid stations
Yeah.
were amazing. They had wonderful food. The volunteers were so helpful as well.
Very cool.
And yeah, it was really good. I really
Awesome.
enjoyed it.
Did
The
you have
weather
any
was
pacers this
wonderful
round?
too. It was a little cool,
Oh,
and then during the day it got warm, but not so like it wasn't horribly warm. It was just perfect. And at
yeah.
night it cooled down again, so
Yeah. That's
that
always
helped too.
helpful.
Yeah.
Did you have pacers this round or no?
I just had Efrain pace me the last 25 miles, the last
Okay.
loop. Yeah. I
That's
was
special.
I put out like post on the Indiana Trail, group just to see if somebody was able to pace me for from 63 to 75, just those minutes,
Yeah.
just because I'm like, I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel. Like I wasn't sure how my body was
Yeah.
going to do. And then nobody was able to, to pace me, but then it ended up being fine. Like I
Yeah.
really felt okay. Like that I
Good.
didn't feel like I was like mentally drained, that I needed someone. Like I plugged in my headset and it kind of helped me, just like I was listening to music. I mean, for some parts, like the reception there
Yeah.
wasn't the best. I'll say that. We did not have great reception there. But
Yeah.
I think as it got later on at night, I think the reception was better, probably because not as many people were on. I'm not
Definitely.
sure, but it seemed like that last half of that fourth loop before I picked up refrain, like I could listen to more music. I'm like, really? Now?
Yeah.
But
Like I don't need it now.
yeah, but it was good. I think I was fine without a pacer. I really was.
Good.
And I ran alone most of the time. Like
Hmm.
everybody was so spaced out
Yeah.
that I mean, and right away, maybe within the second loop, I felt like there was hardly anybody. Like I could even really see groups of people. Even when you
Right.
come to the aid station, you're like, oh, there's a group of people there. No, like it was very, very scattered.
Yeah.
Is
Kind
that
of
kind
on your own.
of all out there by yourself? You just feel like you're on one big long run all alone.
Yeah, and I'm used to it because I'm usually running alone, so that's, not any
Not a big
different. But
deal.
sometimes, like especially at night, you're like, oh, I wish somebody was here. Or,
Yeah.
yeah, at least I can follow that headlamp ahead of me or somebody's behind me. I better go fast. But when
Yeah.
you have that like motivation or it's
Yeah.
harder. It's harder to get motivated on your own to push or to keep going.
It's
Yeah.
so funny too how like when you're on a course where you can go nowhere else, but if you're by yourself, you're like, am I going the right way?
Yes, and I kept doing that to myself. I'm like, oh my gosh, where are the flag markers? I can't see any
Yeah.
flag markers. And I would panic. I'm like, there literally is nowhere else
Nowhere to
to
go.
go. No, not at all. But then I would see when I'm like, okay, I'm going the right way. Like
Yeah.
2 minutes later, I'm like, oh my gosh, where's the
Panicking.
marker? Did I just kiss it? Yeah. But you're right. And honestly, for this course, there was nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
And the sections that where you would have to turn, they were so well marked. They had tape all around them
Good.
and everything. So I was very
Yeah.
excited about that because, I'm the one that gets lost. Just adding
Yeah.
additional mileage, additional fun to my runs.
I
So,
have an athlete who was out there volunteering and he was so excited. Like I didn't even bring you up, but he was like, we're so excited to all welcome Lily into the aid station. And he's like, we're all looking for her.
yes, and he did say something when I went and I saw him on my last loop.
Oh,
He's like,
good.
"Hey, are you Lily?" I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "Oh, I'm Lindsay's athletes." He's like, "We've been waiting for you." I'm like, "Well, thank you. I'm here. What do you have to offer?" I mean, and they had, of course, a full buffet of stuff, but that was
Yeah.
really exciting to see. And I think he was on the second to the last aid station.
Yeah. Yeah. He was really excited to welcome you. So you've made like quite the splash in the Midwest of like of doing
Oh,
this slam.
There's
oh,
an athlete that currently she's on a break of coaching because she's also going to school, grad school. And so she's
oh,
living vicariously through you. And so
oh,
she's, she's loving watching the podcasts and seeing what you're doing.
oh.
inspired a lot of people. So
Mm,
we appreciate you coming on. So I have a few
yeah.
questions. One, I just was curious, like Efrain got to do that last loop. I mean, it was pretty, a big ending, how did
Yeah.
you feel about that? Because it's been his journey, I think, as well as yours, because he's been there at all of them, but the hallucinations.
Yeah. So that was one of his things when I told him, you know what, I'm gonna look for a pacer. And he's like, well, it better not be the last loop. I'm gonna take it to be the last loop. I'm like, no, no, it's fine. And I told him, I'm like, I just don't know how I'm gonna feel by then. Like being the last one, I don't know what my body's gonna do. And he's like, well, it's fine if you want a pacer, but I'm taking the last loop. I'm like, yes, yeah, you're taking the last loop.
You
So
got it.
he was really excited about that. And he's having knee issues a little bit, so that was the other thing. And I'm like, "Are you sure you want to do the full loop?" And he's like, "No, I'm doing it." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay." Well, his knee was bothering him, and I kind of dropped him a few times during the downhills. But I mean, he was able to catch up once I get to the hills, and I slow down a lot, you
Yeah.
know. But it was just fun. He's like, "What? Do you want me to have a heart attack? What are you doing? You're not supposed to be running this fast." I'm like, "I'm not running this fast. I just
You're
want
like,
to run."
I just want to finish.
Loretta gave me a goal. Yeah.
Like, stop bothering me. Let me just finish.
Oh, that's great. So I think it would be interesting to kind of go back through and think about each of the races that you've done and
Hmm.
starting, with Mohican and then going forward and thinking about which, like, I mean, because I've seen it as a coach, but I would like you to kind of
Hmm.
like to see what your perspective is, like your recovery when recovering after Mohican and then all the way to now, like how your recovery has been, like how has it changed from the beginning to now?
Honestly, I can say I think the first three races were the hardest to recover.
Mhm.
Like once I did like race number four, like I was pretty surprised. Remember, I had even told you right after we did Woodstock, I was like, I feel really good. Like my legs, I mean, they're sore and they're achy, but I didn't feel like the rest of my body was as sore as achy like it had been before,
Yeah.
especially after Mohican.
Right.
And
Yeah.
like I felt like well, no, Burning River was the worst. I think that one was the worst to recover from of all of them.
Yeah, and also
Then
have
even if yeah, and then even after this one, like the first couple of days, I was like super stiff and tight on my legs, but I felt like like the rest of my body was fine. And once
Wow.
I got going and moving, like I was fine. So
right.
even today when I went on to, that 30-minute run, I was like, wow, like I was really surprised. I expected to be like super sore or just, lots of different things bothering me, and they really haven't. I
Yeah.
think I've been lucky
Right.
Yeah.
that you know that it's been working out really well with recovery.
I think so.
Good.
That's what I've noticed. I know that in the beginning it seemed like the recovery was a little bit longer, and then
Hmm.
it seems like your body adapted somewhere between the beginning and now, and that your
Yeah.
recovery really moved forward. I was actually talking to some people that just did their very first ultra, and kind of I don't know if you guys can remember your first ultra, but man, I was
Yeah.
walking like a grandma afterwards.
Yeah.
I could hardly move, and
Uh-huh.
as you continue to do them, it seems like our bodies adapt and we recover a lot quicker than we did from our first one. Would you guys agree?
I definitely agree
Absolutely.
with these two last ones. I think recovery has been better. Even like my stomach. Like I
Yeah.
always have issues with
Everything.
my stomach, after the races, but after these two races, it's been a lot better. I think
Good.
the one that really destroyed me was Burning River. Like after Burning River, I had a lot of
Yeah.
trouble recovering. Even like just my sleeping was harder. My stomach,
Mhm.
like there were certain things I just couldn't eat, and it didn't feel well for a while.
Right.
And
There's
the,
something too about those recovery periods when your brain knows that you have to, like, you're constantly telling it you have to do another one soon and you need it to recover faster. When I've done back to backs, I notice I do recover a lot faster than I normally would because
Hmm.
it's like I don't know if you're more aware of how much time you're on your feet or if you're aware and you need to sleep more, but it's like when you know that you have something else coming up, your body is like, okay, we gotta speed this
Yeah,
up.
we got it. This, yes. Yeah. And one of the things that I did make a priority on the last two was more sleep.
Yeah.
I just decided no matter what, whether my things are done or not, I need to be in bed by a certain time, just because I knew that the next day, I had training and I had, personal things to do or whatever. So I
Right.
think the sleep has helped a lot.
Mhm.
just being able to have like a set time every single day,
Right.
to sleep.
Yeah,
This
that
is like this is like such a like master class of how to set goals and to how to prioritize what's important and what's not.
Mhm.
And obviously, like you have your family, you have your kids, you have your job. And so many times we just hear from our athletes like, oh, I'm too busy or I couldn't make it happen the day or whatnot. But you had this goal to knock out these 5 hard 100s in a time frame on top of training, on top of working and being a mom, and you did it. Like, what was kind of your, do you think it was just like you decided and you did it, or were there days where like training suffered or motherhood suffered or your job suffered? Like, how did you balance it all?
I don't think there was a real balance, honestly. Like there really is no balance. There was nights where my sleep would suffer,
Yeah,
But then because like my kids had events in the at night. So by the time we got home and showered and got homework, it was 10, 10:30 before I went to bed, when usually my bedtime is like 9, 9:30. And then,
right.
I had to get up and train in the morning. Like for example, my daughter started cheerleading. So
Mhm.
their practices were at 7 a.m.
Oh my
So
God.
yes, yes. So for me, usually I'm done with my workout by 7:15, 6, 6:15, 6:30, so that I can get them ready, and we're all out of the house by 7:30. Well,
Right.
not anymore. So, like that meant I had to get up a little bit extra early those days, or
Yeah.
to get my stuff done so that we were all ready to go by 7. But
Right.
like it's always a sacrifice. Something always has to give.
Yeah.
And there's no way around it. And, one week might be one thing, and next week will be the other. But there's
Yeah.
never a true balance,
Yeah.
and I think
But
that's
it's a,
this part, like to people that think
yeah.
there's got to be a balance and everything has to be structured and fall into place. For me,
Right.
it never did. Like my only constant was I need to get up and do my workout, because if I don't
Yeah.
do it in the morning, it's not getting done in the afternoon. And if
Exactly.
I don't do it, then I'm gonna suffer later when I'm trying to
Mhm.
get this done, my runs,
Yeah.
my races done.
and
Right. Like we can all sign up for these massive goals, but to actually put in it day after day is really fun to see.
It
So I
is,
hope
it's
that
so
everyone
hard.
listening,
And I mean,
everyone
a lot
listening,
of the
take it.
times it is so hard. And a lot of the times, all I kept telling myself is, Joss, just go out there, do what you can.
Yep,
30 minutes is on your plan, but you only get 20. You know what? 20 is better than nothing. So,
exactly.
near the end, I think it was just, I was so mentally just tired, and, just life and work, that was my mentality every morning. Get up
Mhm.
and do what you can today. Whatever
Yep.
gets done, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
And once you're out there, then you just, things start, you start motivating yourself, or you just start feeling that energy, and you're like, okay, this isn't as bad as I thought it would be, you know.
Yeah.
But it's that hard step of getting started.
Right,
Mhm.
right. But honestly, Lily didn't miss a workout. I don't think she missed a and she didn't shorten any of her workouts. She might have extended them, but she never shortened them. She got in every strength training session. She was that's why she came out of this so strong, right? She
Right.
was doing strength training, heavy strength training starting in January. I mean, she's always done strength, but I think we really focused on it probably starting in January, where
Yeah, I went full in on that.
that. And then she was doing all of her runs and she was taking care of herself as far as, seeing a chiropractor or, getting those extra pieces. From a full team, to keep herself healthy. I think that's really huge. And then, when you say like you stayed strong through all of it, it was because of all of that hard work that you put in. I mean, somebody could probably come in and finish all of those races, but they might not be as in good shape when they finish, right? You're coming out of this not injured, not broken,
Right.
not to burn out from it. And I think that it was just that balance of your training that you did, the strength training that you did, and you were just super smart about it. And a huge piece is that we're always talking about listening to your body, and she would. I mean, I joke when I say she probably did a little more. She probably did here and there, but she also listened to her body, I think, throughout, and I think she's
Yeah.
learned to do that. And I've been coaching Lily for a few years, and the other piece she's really learned is how to run easy and not to take those easy workouts and push them too hard. I mean, her heart
Mhm.
rate has been incredible through all of these, and her rate of perceived exertion. She's just learned so much, I feel like, that's also been a huge part because if you can take those easy days easy, you're going to recover for those harder days or those longer runs or those back-to-back longer runs. And if you don't, then it's really hard, and that's where we start pushing the edge of injury or burnout is when we're doing everything too hard, I think. So I
Yeah.
think you did an incredible job of pulling it off. So it's super exciting to
Well,
watch it.
thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's really, really fun. And I'm sure as a coach, it's like the best feeling to be able to do this along with her. So that's fun to see. Like so many times, like Loretta, you hear it all the time too. Like at the beginning of a season, we'll have an athlete say, okay, here's all my races I'm signing up for. Like I'm doing them. And then, you get to number two and they're like, oh, actually, I don't really think I want to do that one anymore or whatnot. And being along this journey with Lily, like I never heard you say like you were not looking forward to the next one or that you didn't want to do the next one. Like you've handled it really, really well. And I think the only way you can do that is to take it one at a time, right?
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
really did. And that was my whole goal through the year. I'm like, I have to do these 500 milers. And
Mhm.
I'm one to like, oh, this one looks fun. I'm just going to throw that in the mix a little bit. I really did contain myself. There was a lot of FOMO going on with a lot of races my friends were at. And I was like, I can't. Like, I
Yeah. Too much.
cannot do that to myself, because I'll
Yeah.
be paying for it later. But I
Yeah.
mean, it does, and it takes discipline. Even for me, like it takes discipline to say, nope, I'm not going to do that race, even though it's only 5 miles and it looks super fun.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
like,
I think we all follow a lot of people online that take every race that there is, and
Mhm.
maybe they're not putting up the times that they're capable of, which is also fine if you're just looking for a finish.
Mhm.
But by not doing every single race, you're minimizing your chance of injury, which is great. But you're also helping yourself run these races so well. Like you ran them all very fast. Like that's incredible to be able to do. And was this this wasn't your fastest of the series, was it?
I I think it might have been.
It might have been, right?
It might have been, yeah.
Should have
But
looked.
then again, it didn't have as much,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
think Loretta's got your stats here. It looks
I
like she's
think
looking some up.
I have them somewhere. But yeah, that I think that is
that
huge.
was the fastest, yeah.
Yeah, every race was under 24 hours. Most of them were under 22 hours, I think. So
Mhm.
that's also a pretty incredible feat. A lot of people that
Yeah.
are pushing 30 hours or happy to get under 24 hours, but you did that with all of them, which is pretty incredible. I know
Yeah.
we had them somewhere. Yeah, I think it was your fastest
It
one.
was my fastest one, yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes, so I don't have hallucinations written down here, but I have Mohican was 22 hours and 44 minutes, Kettle was 22 hours and 55 minutes, Burning River was 23 hours and 38 minutes. I think hallucination was around 22 as well, maybe.
Yeah. Hmm.
And this one was 2057. So
Amazing.
a big bang at the end.
Yeah. Amazing.
I was just going to take a second as a coach because you mentioned that. I mean, I'm very proud of this because, I've not had somebody run 5 100s in 4.5 months. And so when you give me, of course, as a coach, I'm a little nervous, like, how do we get her through this? So
Yeah.
injury free, she stays strong and, can finish all of them, because the thing you don't want is to DNF one of them early, right? And then
Yeah. And that was always my fear. I'm like, what if I don't make it? Like, what if something happens? And and that's the game that played in my head the whole entire time. Like, yes, you have a goal, but the most
Mhm.
important thing is finish safe, finish without injury. And that's what I
Mhm.
kept repeating in to myself near the end, especially when you're so tired. You're just like, finish safe, finish without injury, finish safe, finish without injury.
Mhm.
Because I wanted to make it to the next one, like.
Yeah.
And that's what I kept thinking. Like I put in so much work. I can't get injured for being just silly.
Yeah.
Like
About
if
that
you have to slow down, it don't matter. Just finish safe.
we talked about that too. It's like all you
Yeah.
need is a finish. Like take the pressure off yourself. Just need a finish. Of course, if
Yeah.
you get a fast time, that's like a bonus, right? But if you
Right.
finish that you need. So I haven't seen the final results, but do you know the final results of the slam?
They haven't posted them yet. So, but
Okay.
I will once I get the results, I will share them with you. We haven't gotten an email yet from them. They usually send an email with all of the results. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm anticipating that Lily is probably first in standing still, but we'll see that soon. That's something that we can post later for people that are listening as well. So let's talk about races. Okay, so you have Mohican and Kettle and Burning River and Hallucination and Indiana Trail. Which one was
Hmm.
your favorite course?
Oh my gosh. I I honestly think I really like Mohican, even though it was hard.
Okay,
It was
Yeah.
awesome.
hard, but I think it was a great challenge. The course was really pretty. Lots of
Yeah.
pretty things to see. Um, I really like that. I mean, I really liked Indiana Trail too, especially at the end because it was so runnable. And I
Yeah.
felt like it just made it easier to finish the slam.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like you needed that break by the end. And I think that course is great for it. Like I said, very runnable, and the aid stations were close and looped, which is things that I do like. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so rank
Very
the
cool.
difficulty. So it sounds like Indiana Trail's the easiest. Which comes next?
mhm. The second easiest, I would probably say Woodstock.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then,
And then I just maybe Burning River. I don't know. It's just I just had a hard time. That heat
Yeah.
just destroyed me. And
Yeah.
all of that road that I'm not used to, I think as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, Kettle and Mohican are both up there, but I still Mohican, I think is the hardest.
A little bit harder.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't make it easier that they're right back to back, you know?
Yeah.
This year, luckily, we had 2 weeks. But then the people that did the slam last year, they were only a week apart. Like
Oh,
I cannot imagine.
yeah,
yeah.
that's tough.
But yeah,
So which race had your favorite vibe?
the favorite vibe. I have to go with Kettle. Yeah. I know most of the people there in the aid
Yeah,
stations, and yeah,
that's helpful.
I would definitely say Kettle, but yeah. But I
Which
think it's because of that, because there was a lot of people that I knew. Not that the others weren't, but when
Right.
you know people, it just makes it easier. And like you said, it's the vibe that, oh yeah, there's another one of my friends. And
Yeah.
with these, like, there wasn't very many people that I knew except like the people that were doing the slam.
right, yeah.
Right.
So which one do you think was your best performance? I mean, take away the time for a second and just like which one do you think you performed the best at, regardless of time?
I think Mohican because I think it was my first one and I was just anxious and ready to get it done. I really feel like that. That was really good. And honestly, Indiana Trail too. I felt like I really stayed steady for that one. Like I really
Yeah.
focused on maintaining my speed uh and I think because of the way the course was laid out, like it was easier for me to
Hmm.
maintain a speed and to gauge it,
Right.
my pace, I should say.
So
Hmm.
um I forgot this. So not only did she do sub 24 for all of them, you finished top five for everyone or top three for most everyone, right? So
Yeah.
Mohican was her
Hmm.
first
That's amazing.
for all female. Kettle, fifth female,
I think fifth male, yeah.
and Burning River third,
Third.
and Hallucination third,
Third.
and Indiana Trail second. So
Mhm.
some great podium.
Amazing. I
Yeah.
love that. What's kind of like looking back, I'm sure you've had some time to think, but if you had to pick like something that stands out to you that you learned about racing or about yourself that you didn't really know going into this, like what's something that you can kind of take away or tell people about what you learned through all of this?
Flexibility. You have to be
Mhm.
flexible. I mean, you have to
Yeah,
be flexible in your planning when you're, planning out your workouts. You have to be flexible in the race because you just don't know what's going to happen. The weather
right.
is so unpredictable. Gear goes wrong. You forget something. You just have to be flexible and just do what you can with what you got. Definitely. Like,
Mhm.
just do what you can with what you got at that time.
That's huge.
Right.
I think I've learned that, like, just. when you're out there, things that used to work are not working anymore. Or, foods that
Mhm.
you used to be your favorite, you're like, I can't even look at that anymore. Like nothing is settling, or, and just
Yeah.
being flexible and like just problem
Mhm.
solving, like in the moment, the best that you can.
Right.
Like, do you like don't follow the plan. Like I feel like if you have a plan, there's always something gonna go with the plan. Don't just focus on the plan. Like think, what else can I do? How can I fix it? Or what's my next option?
And
Mhm.
honestly, as a coach, I see a huge growth for Lily over this too, is learning that, because sometimes people like me, I'm not going to call Lily out, but when we're like list makers and checker offers and A-type personality, we feel like when there's a plan there, we've got to follow it to a T.
Yes.
Check, and we can't veer from that plan. It's a really hard thing to do, but it's something that Lily and I have talked about a little bit. Like, okay, this is the plan that we're coming up with for nutrition. It might go out the window, and it's okay. It's okay if you don't follow
Yeah.
what you come up with
And it
because
usually does by the end. Like in the
Yeah.
beginning, great, everything works right. But then after fifth mile 50, you're like, mm-mm, none of that. We're done.
Not happening.
I feel like you learned a lot with that because I think in the beginning I remember like really trying to follow and stick to it, and
Yeah.
then it was like, okay, this isn't working, but that's the plan, so I got to stick
Yeah.
to
Hmm.
Something I've kind of figured out in hundreds is that like there's seems to be about a 20-mile window of where things kind of remain steady. And then it like throws you a curveball the next 20. You're like, okay, everything's going right. The plan is working. And then all of a sudden it's like, nope.
Not anymore. Uh-huh.
Yeah, let's switch it up. So for someone that's not like that, I totally can see how that does make things easier to like just be flexible in what you're coming in with, have your plan, what usually works, but then also be able to pivot is like probably one of my accidental strengths because I'm not a planner. So it's helpful. It's helpful if you can pivot. But a
It
lot of
really
times,
is. Because
yeah,
then
a lot
it
of times
relieves,
the
it
athletes
relieves
can
that
do
pressure.
it.
Like, why am I sticking to something that is not beneficial for
Not
me?
we're working.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
like
working. Like, why? Yeah.
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
but a lot of times that happens.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I talk about with athletes too, especially for people who are doing it for their first time. We're never doing a training run that's going to last as long as your 50 miler or 100 miler, just in training run. And so you're never going to get to the point to know that your nutrition is 100%. I think we can dial it in as best as we can on a 5-hour run, but let's multiply that times six and see how that, it's hard to know. And then, like you said, so many variables happen. The temperature changes and you
For
don't like something,
sure.
stomach's not handling it, and it's just something that you can't plan for. It's just something you need to be flexible with. So I think that you said that perfectly.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, and that's something that, of course, we try and preach over and over again to our athletes. But hearing it from somebody that just did five is nice. So like,
Yes.
so many times, like especially like in that 2-day window leading up to a race, like I'm sure you're the same, Loretta. Like we're constantly getting texts of like the exact plan that has to happen, and I'm like, okay, that looks great, but what if? Like,
But what if, right?
yeah,
And I'm
or
almost,
when if, not even what if.
I'm almost a little bit nervous when I try to help give them a plan because, I don't want them to like say this is golden and this is what I'm going to stick to because it might not work.
And I
So
think
Yeah.
I was like that at the beginning.
for
I
sure.
remember when I ran Hennepin, that my first 100, like I had a plan and this were the paces that I was supposed to hit, and it wasn't working, and I was dying and I was crying, and I just couldn't steer away from the plan, that plan,
Yeah.
Yes,
until
yeah,
somebody said, "Why are you doing that?
right,
Turn they're like, turn your watch off. You don't need to do that.
right,
Yeah.
It's not making you feel good. Stop doing it and do what does." I mean, and
Yeah.
eventually this was like at mile 60 something, but
Yeah.
it is. It's like you said, it's that mindset that this is the plan. It has to go this way. And yeah, after a while, I realized no, there really is no plan.
right.
Like a sketch.
Yeah.
A sketch of lots of great ideas that could go right, but can very likely go wrong.
Right. So what advice would you give to somebody else that wants to do the Super Slam?
I would say that it's very doable, definitely doable. And I think the key to it is just making sure you are resting, resting and like maintain while you are in between races.
Right.
Like don't completely not do anything, but then don't like overwork yourself. I think
Yeah.
if you just keep a base and just ease your body into it, keep it going, I think it should be fine. Like I just, but definitely like recovery, like focus on recovering your body. Any little niggle or aches that you might feel, focus on those. Like,
Mhm.
day by day, how do they feel? Are you, is it better? Is it worse? Or what
I'm
makes it
curious.
better? What makes it worse?
Yeah, I'm curious to know how did your I've been doing a lot more stretching just in general. Do you do like some stretching or you is that part of your recovery?
Usually lately I haven't been as doing the stretching as I normally do. I
Hmm.
would focus more on it, but I do try to do like a 5 to 10 minutes right after I'm done running or
Yeah,
my workout. I just because I don't have a lot of time, but I do
yeah,
like to do that.
yeah,
And
for sure.
but because there wasn't a lot of time between them, I felt like there wasn't specific days where I could just dedicate just to stretching because I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
rather walk and get some
yeah,
movement in, or I'd
I
rather get
agree.
an extra couple of hours of sleep.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah,
Piece two is we did add in cycling. We mentioned that in another one.
yes.
That
mhm,
kind of moved her body in a different way with a little bit of cross training. Nothing big, but enough to kind of take the impact off of her body, keep her cardio up, but not, overdo it with the running. I think that's been big. And then another piece that I put in her plan is 3D maps, which is um, a mobility circuit that you go through, moving your body in different planes of motion.
Hmm.
Something
right,
Yeah, and that's usually like my warm up right before I go do my run. Like I do that. Yeah.
right.
kind of helps clear things out a little bit, I think, too. And I feel like you do some recovery. Do you do some tooling and stuff, right?
I do. I have a Theragun, which I do, and I have some
Yep.
compression boots that
Yep.
there are magical right after you're done running. Yes.
Yeah, I bet that was a good investment before this
Oh,
five.
for sure. Sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
they do feel really good. I just had an athlete finish Moab a couple of days ago, and his question to me is always, "How do I speed up recovery?" He's like looking for that magic pill, and I'm like, "You go to bed."
Right.
Yes.
Sleep and eat.
Sleep and eat.
Sleep, I mean, you can sleep, eat, Epsom salt, but literally, like your body just needs to rest. Like you haven't slept in 5 days. Like you go to
Right.
bed.
That's amazing. That
Yeah,
is
but it's
amazing.
your body knows what to do, and if you can keep it healthy along the journey, like you have, I think even a bigger testament of finishing all these is you are injury free, correct? Like you're not
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
And I think that it's like you said, you just have to listen, kind of just feel your body out. Like it does give you signals, like when
Yeah,
it needs something. We just don't
yeah,
like to listen to it sometimes. And I've been really focusing on that because I wanted to finish. I wanted to be able to do all of my races.
right.
So, I would
Yeah.
put a lot of thought into how I was feeling.
Into the recovery because my favorite, because least favorite thing is when I see like an athlete that I'll have like those 2 or 3 like rest days or like walking or whatever, and they forget that their watch syncs to run DNA, and I see that they go running.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, stop it,
No,
just take a
stop.
rest. But
Yes.
it's super important. Like you have to let your body recover from these things.
Yes,
Like
you have to be
it's
very
good.
intentional. Yeah. And for
Mhm.
me, that was the thing. I'm like, okay, all I have to do is walk, even if it's just, 15, 20 minutes, just go walk. Because I felt like I needed to move.
Right.
I just needed to be more, like I said, more intentional. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think
get,
that's might have been the hardest part of your training was your recovery weeks because you like to move and
yeah.
going from this higher volume to like really kind of toning it down. I mean, walking,
Yeah.
but really toning it down is not easy, right? Because especially
No.
once you start recovering a little faster, you're like, hey, I feel good. I can go for a run. But then that's
Yeah.
when you do that, that's when you get into trouble. And I think we talked about that too. Like that's so important that you're recovering and resting, more important than really any training between those two races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is because you need to recover to be able to go strong onto to the next race. And I feel like that's another thing I talk with athletes about is that recovery time in between is really where you're building stronger. Your body's building and repairing everything that you sort of tore down, and now it's building it back it up to make you stronger so that the next crazy thing you do, your body's ready for it.
It's ready for it, for sure.
Exactly. So this was really cool to be along the journey with you. I guess we need to know what's next, right? Like, have you thought about it?
I sort of know. I think I found out at 4 a.m. this morning.
Yes, I was just gonna say, well, in insomnia hit in. I'd been fine, and then all of a sudden, like I just couldn't sleep last night, and I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do next? So
Yeah.
I threw some. I mean, I would honestly like to do another ultra before the end of the year.
Hmm.
And so I did text Loretta about 100K that I might be interested in doing in December, but I'm like, it's still got time. I got time, some
Cool.
time to
I like
recover.
to catch it in pencil in her plan, but it was
Mhm.
funny because I woke up around 5 a.m. and I don't know, I couldn't go back to sleep, so I grabbed my phone, which I normally don't because that makes it so is worth and I can't go back to sleep.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was laughing, and then I saw that you were on Facebook, so I'm like, I might as well message her. It's 5 a.m., but she's awake.
I just couldn't sleep. And what do you do? Well, then you just look at Ultra Sign Up and see all the options that are out there.
No,
Note to my
seriously,
athletes,
there's
I
so
wake
many.
up at 5 a.m.
I know. No, that's really cool. Like, just, it's been really inspirational to watch, but of course, allow your body to enjoy this process. But we're excited to see kind of what you do next. And I'm sure no matter what you do is going to be epic. Do you have anything also like on your bucket list? What's your like bucket list race or thing that you want to do with running?
One of the big things that I do want to do, there's a 100-mile race. Well, this year it's only 100K that is in
Mhm.
Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. So that's where my
Mhm.
family's from. So
Yeah,
I would love to do that.
yeah.
Years past, if they've held it in October.
I
So
think one of my friends did this. What was that one called?
it's Puerto Vallarta UTMB.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think my friend did that last year, but she didn't make it all the way. But she said it was hard. Yeah.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
usually have it in October, and then for this year they moved it to March.
Oh,
Okay.
So yeah, and they only made it up to 100K. The 100
Yeah.
mile distance is not available anymore.
I
But
wondered if it was because it was like I don't think a lot of people finished the 100 the last time.
it's probably not. It's probably super
Too
hot.
hard.
It's so
Yeah.
hot. Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
hot and humid out there during that time of year. So I wonder if
Yeah.
moving it to March, they're having a better.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit
That
better.
would be my bucket list, but it's so
Mhm.
hard just because of when it is, you know,
Yeah.
during March. And then as a school teacher, like I
It's
have to take
hard.
a lot of time off. Like if I'm there and that's where my family is, I'm not just gonna take the
Get
race
in and
weekend
out.
off, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, I know. I've got so
it
many
would
like
be some
amazing people talking about the races in Mexico. I'd love to go do some of them, like talk about beautiful scenery and yeah.
but yeah, that's on my bucket list. And I'm gonna say it, I am gonna have to try 200 some point at some point. Just keep seeing them pop everywhere. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I did 500s, why
Yeah.
200 wouldn't be so bad.
Oh, you could do it, I'm sure.
you spread out over a few months.
Right.
Yeah,
So
you could do it.
so that would be something fun I would like to eventually do.
Cool. Yeah. Well,
Eventually.
I have no doubt you'll do everything that you want to do and more.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Loretta, any other questions for Lily?
I don't think so. I think we got them, but I just want to say thank you so much, Lily, for trusting me in this journey.
Oh, thank you for helping me through it all. Because I
Yeah.
wouldn't honestly wouldn't know what to do. It's just overwhelming just to think about.
And I can see that for sure. I mean, because it is a lot of thinking about that recovery piece and that build and like what's going to get you
Mhm.
there. So, yeah, that's
Yeah, one of the ladies that also did the slam, she doesn't have a coach.
okay.
And she said that was one of the things she struggled the most. Like, what do I do within between races? She's like,
Mhm.
she said that, after talking to her this last time, she's like, on one of the races, I totally did nothing
Oh, wow.
between the races. Like, I just didn't do much running.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
she's like, but then that didn't, I figured it didn't turn out very well because I suffered a lot the next race.
Yeah.
So then on the
Right.
next race, I started to put in some miles. Well, I think I ended up putting in too many miles because
Mhm.
then I started. So she's like, I think that is the hardest thing. Like you
Right.
need to have some kind of guidance. And that's what she kept saying. She's like, I just don't know what to do. I
Yeah.
can't, well, thank goodness I have a coach. So she tells me what to do and I just
Yeah.
do it.
And I'm glad it is a balancing act between recovery, getting enough, but not too much that you're
Too
tipping
much.
again,
Yeah.
because you need to be recovered again. Like they got a little bit of time to do a little bit, and then you're tapering for that next race.
Mhm.
Recover
Right.
a little bit, tapering.
Yes. And I feel
Such
like
an art
when that
too.
tapering happens again, your body's like, what are you doing? Like
Right.
I
Yeah.
always felt like once I started like my training or my mileage back, I was fine. But the minute I would back down, it's like that week, like everything felt like it was falling apart. And I would
Yeah.
tell her, I'm like, I don't know what something is going on. Like it just doesn't feel right. But then, race week came and it was fine. It's
Yeah. Yeah, trusting that taper is never easy for us
mm-mm.
or the athletes. Like, and for them to fight the urge to like go do more miles because their body hurts, I'm like, please remember this is all normal. Like, your body's in repair mode. Like, you're going to feel something weird.
Mhm.
But I have to tell myself that all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh, everything hurts.
Yeah, it feels worse. I'm like, I feels worse when I'm not doing anything.
Yeah,
You
Or
gotta
doing less, I should
body move,
say.
or
Hmm.
it's bad.
yeah,
And a lot of athletes might come in that week with these little niggles that creeped up that they didn't have before, probably because they weren't moving as much. But then usually when you step on the line, they just magically disappear and you don't see them the
Hmm.
whole race. They're
You do. You do. They
yeah.
just go away.
It's kind of one of like the world's best gifts to runners is like sometimes like maybe not an injury, but a niggle. If you show up to a race, that's likely going to be the cure for it.
Yeah. You scared it out.
Get it off, and your body knows like, okay, this is what we're doing. I guess I just have to fall in line. Like, we're
Yeah.
not going to get out of this one.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, it's been such a fun journey seeing all of this. Thank you so much, Lily. And of course, we'll have to have you back on after, like, you've had some time to process and see what's next and all of that. But thank you for sharing with us, like, everything that you've been through as well.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I hope I'm helpful for someone out there, but
Yeah.
everything's doable.
And not to mention that we also, like, ask you how you're balancing this all. And then we're like, hey, by the way, come on the podcast after every race.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Do you have anything
And
else you
there's no balance. Just know that there is no balance. No balance whatsoever.
Yeah,
Something
for
always
sure.
gives. That's just the way it is.
anything
Yeah.
else you can share before we go, Lily?
No, that's just it. I mean, thank you everyone for your support. I know I always have a lot of people, reaching out, just wishing me luck and the best race out there. And I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you everyone for being so supportive because it really does take a lot. And when you see those messages, they do uplift you.
Mhm.
They give you that little extra push and motivation to try a little harder, keep out there, a little longer.
Um,
Yeah.
I do appreciate everyone. Thank you so much for your help and support.
I do want to share one last thing is in between all of these hundreds, Lily was showing up at hundreds and she was volunteering. So, the weekend before Indiana Trail, she spent, I don't know, the night at Hennepin,
Oh, the whole weekend at Hennepin, yeah.
at the aid station, so she's giving back so much to the community too the entire time. And that's not easy. Running an aid station for a whole, night is tiring. And, so she's losing sleep, she's on her feet, but she's doing it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
tonight,
Yeah.
lucky enough to grab her before she heads off to Mines of Spain.
Yes, I can't wait.
So
I'm so excited. I mean, that's a great race, and I've ran it the past 2 years, not this year, but I'm just so excited to go see those women out there and everybody. But you're there for the women's race.
Yeah.
All my baby friends to see them out there crushing, and it's just
Awesome.
exciting to see them, like because you've been there. You know
Mhm.
you've experienced that, and it's like, oh, just
Right.
the rush. And
right
then I get to say, well, at least I'm not running today.
here.
You're
Okay, so
done.
last thing here for the women's race. I was running on the trail the other day and I saw somebody with one of those shirts that, here.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, she doesn't look familiar. I haven't seen her on the trail. And then when I came back, I saw her again. And so she had the shirt. So I'm like, I'm going to take the opportunity to introduce myself. I'm like, hey, I have that same shirt. And then I'm like, I stopped and I'm like, were you at Western States? And I look up at her and she was one of my daughter's friends from college. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
Oh, how
how
cool.
cool.
been living in Colorado and she just moved back to Michigan. And so she goes out on the trail. And so that was pretty
Oh, that
cool.
is
That's really neat.
That. So.
yeah, that
Very
was pretty
cool.
cool.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thanks again for coming on. I hope everybody enjoyed this series. If you haven't watched or listened to all of them, we have 5 episodes with Lily. And so I think they're really great and so much learning packed inside of them. So,
Yes.
thanks.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Dirt podcast, and we'll see you next time. Thank you,
Yes, thank
Lily.
you. All right, have a good night.